Here opens the court of their royal majesties Anton and Lined, King and Queen of Atlantia. Draw nigh and hear the words of their majesties.
Hello, Atlantia, and I hope this wonderful Saturday finds you in great joy.
Hello, Atlantia. I hope that you are having a fabulous time at Highland River Melees in its virtual form.
So we have a short court. We have some local people that we really want to recognize, and then we'll let you get on with the rest of your festivities.
I want to welcome all our newcomers today, those who are watching through the virtual watch party, as well as people who are just turning in their own. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you have a fabulous time.
Their majesties would now recognize Scandal McRofir.
So you have done a tremendous amount of work with the Cook's Guild and with feasts all about the barony. When things needed to be lifted and things needed to be moved, you were there for them. But recently, you've taken on a new challenge. You've become the web minister for your barony, and no small importance is that in these times. So at this point, we would like to welcome you to the nobility of Atlantia.
Shout gladly to all peoples of Atlantia that Scandal McRofir has earned honor and renown. His service to the Cook's Guild and as web minister is praiseworthy. Therefore do we, Anton and Lined, King and Queen of Atlantia, award him arms in token of his worthiness. Done this May 8th, AS 56, at Highland River Melees. Anton Rex, Lined Regina. Scroll done by the hand of Lady Fan van Amsterdam.
Welcome to the nobility of Atlantia.
For Scandal McRofir, newest member of the nobility of Atlantia. Vivat! 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 Now their majesties would recognize noble Caran DeBurg.
Noble Caran, you have been contributing to the Cook's Guild there in Highland Foorde for a while, and you really specialize in period recipes and period adapted recipes, and that is quite a feat. Any of us who've ever eaten a true medieval feast, sometimes we find it's very different from what we're normally used to, and the ability to adapt recipes to still fit into the norm of feeling medieval and being acceptable to modern tastes is really quite an accomplishment. In addition to that, you make period hats and you teach on a variety of subjects. And for that today, we are minded to make you a member of the Order of the Coral Branch.
Praise shall be proffered, a potent liquor of distilled deftness and craft held dear. 'Tis a fleeting elixir, eager and quicker than flashing flame or her feats. We now cheer. Such a sure spirit smolders within her, whose honed constancy creates artistry clear. Built stroke by stroke, here soar, here flicker, but always alive wherever it appear. Told through temperas her tincture's delight, broadcast by baking of beauty and taste, affirmed and felt find Phrygians upright. DeBurg the bold, thy spark burning bright, we thee coral convey with consummate haste. Given by Anton Rex, Lined Regina, the 7th day of May, AS 56, at Highland River Melees in our barony of Highland Foorde. Illumination by Lady Adelaide Halfpint, calligraphy Lady Corin Valran, text Lord Ishmael Steadfast Reed. For noble Caran DeBurg, Vivat!
Vivat! Vivat!
Next, their majesties will call attention to James the Archer.
So James, your citizenship within the barony has been marked by continual progress with archery, importance that should not go without notice as you are on the border. You have also been the first to raise your hand and volunteer for work when it needed to be done. And most importantly, you've done the tasks that needed doing to keep the barony moving forward in large and small ways. But one of the notes that we got with you concerning your activities, and a reason to look at you as not just a member of the populace, but as a member of the nobility, was you can do all of these tasks and have continued to do so with a wry wit and a pun on your lips at almost any time. So at this time, we would like to welcome you to the nobility of Atlantia and award you arms.
To all unto whom these presents come, know that we are truly pleased with our populace, especially those who willingly give their time to serve Atlantia. We are well pleased with our servant James, as he is very helpful in the equestrian community, as well as willing to help whenever and wherever aid is needed with a smile and possibly a pun. Thus are we, King Anton and Queen Linnet, minded to raise James the Archer to the nobility with an award of arms, commanding him to consult with our herald to devise suitable heraldry for his use alone. Done the 7th day of May, in the 2021st year of our Lord, being the 56th year of the Society at these Highland River Melees. Anton Rex, Linnet Regina, done by the hand of Mistress Mordera. For James the Archer, newest recipient of an award of arms. Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Congratulations. I do love a good pun.
Next, their Majesty's attention is drawn to Ari Laborn.
So Ari, some of you may be familiar with Ari. She has been part of the Kingdom IT staff. But here in Highland Foorde, she has stepped up during the pandemic to become the chronicler for Highland Foorde. She's also started a podcast. She is also taken over social media, and my understanding is that she's quick to respond and very engaging. And this is all wonderful because she's only been to like 2 real events. Because she started early on, right before the pandemic started. We found out, His Majesty mentioned to me that you do not have an award of arms. And we're going to rectify that. We're going to go a little over the top because today we're going to award you with an opal, which also conveys with it the right to bear arms and raises you to the nobility of this kingdom.
May all that hear these words know that we, Anton and Linnet, monarchs of Atlantia, are most pleased with our loyal subjects who so willingly preserve the history of our lands as chronicler in multiple formats, to include doing podcasts in this time of plague. We are very aware of the changing times and the social aspects the new media needs, and those who can keep up with these demands are worthy indeed. There is one amongst our populace who has put forth that extra effort into this new world of chronicling. Thus do we, King Anton and Queen Linnet, induct Ari Laborn into our Order of the Opal. 2, we award arms and direct her to our herald to fashion suitable heraldry to call hers and hers alone. Done at these Highland River Melees, the 7th day of May, in the 56th year of the Society, in this 2021st year of our Lord, Anton Rex, Linnet Regina, done by the hand of Mistress Mordera. 4, Ari Laborn, recipient of the Opal, and an award of arms. Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Congratulations, Lady Ari.
Your Majesty, I need your assistance.
Oh,
What's the real name?
I'm not sure I can help you. Laochdha, I think. Laochdha.
Loud. Next, their Majesties would recognize the difficultly named Guy O'Laochdha. Guy O'Laochdha.
So, Guy, we could have called you up with your lady a moment ago. But that wouldn't be right and just for you. For as she has garnered attention of late and has had, through the skills that she's pursued, the opportunity to be in the limelight of the kingdom and has performed important tasks, we understand as a couple, that no one shines without the other one's support. And when we queried the barony about your work, and we learned he's the first to put his hand up when a task needs to be done. He's the first to be counted on when the task isn't that much fun. We knew there was more to this. So we dug deeper, and we learned that, quite honestly, without you, the contributions of one would not be possible. It would be wrong for one to enter the nobility without the other. So at this point, for your work and your support, helping this kingdom through the pandemic, we would like to recognize you with your award of arms, sir.
Praiseworthy are those who serve. Guy Olala has earned honor and renown for his tireless service and reliability and assistance to the barony of Highland Foorde. We, Anton and Leonard, King and Queen of Atlantia, have noticed, and in token of his worthiness, award him arms. Done this 7th day of May, AS 56, at Highland River Melees. Anton Rex, Leonard Regina. Done by the hand of Lady Lucretia, Sarta de Napoli.
Vivat.
Vivat for Guy Olala. Vivat!
Vivat! Vivat!
So, Highland Foorde, it is with a bit of embarrassment that we have to make this announcement. In my 5 reigns and Her Majesty's 4, we have never made it in person to your barony. But I want it to be heard here. That is not a representation on how we feel about it.
Now, mind you, I'm not certain Highland Foorde was in existence during our first couple of reigns. So we couldn't have gone there anyway, but we haven't made it.
All of our predecessors as king and queen
Hello.
have always told us, if you want to have a good time, go to Highland Foorde. We will go, but we will go as Duke and Duchess. And we apologize to you for not being able to make it to your fair barony during one of these reigns. So accept our apologies, realize that they are not in any way personal. They are just an effect of the calendar gods,
The pandemic gods, and everything else.
the world that we
The
have.
puppy gods. This is Murphy. He's decided to join us.
Yes. Murphy says he'd like to come also. So Highland Foorde, have a wonderful day today. And drink a toast to the heirs, drink a toast to Atlantia, and have a fabulous day.
Enjoy the rest of Highland River Melees.
Your Grace, if you would, close court for us.
Here closes the virtual court of their majesties, Anton and Leonard. Long may they reign.
this begins the court of their excellencies of Highland Foorde, Baroness Sin and Baron Ludwig.
Greetings, good gentles. We are coming here today, a little pre-recorded mystical magical action. We are all, for transparency's sake, wearing our masks, 6 feet apart, and we're all vaccinated, but you can never be too safe. And with that, we have a few awards we'd like to give out to some deserving people.
Call him first.
Their excellencies would like to recognize Caran DeBurg.
Caran, if you would. You may stand. Caran, you've been absolutely wonderful. You have gone above and beyond. I've seen the walls, okay? Jesse showed me. The finished products are absolutely gorgeous. Your commitment to immersion is like, makes my heart aflutter. Not to mention what you've done with the gold key. I don't have the patience. Thank you so much. And for that, we would like to recognize you with a heart today.
Every so often, there comes along a person who consistently gives of themselves to others. They clothe the bare, guide the lost, feed the hungry, cheer the saddened, in this case, make delicious desserts. There is no doubt that Caran DeBurg serves so finely. Thus do we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, induct her into our Order of the Hart, done this 8th day of May, Anna Societas 56, at our virtual Highland River Melees.
But we've also noticed that where you are, you have a very quiet shadow. And if you would call in the next victim.
Your Excellencies, call forward Guy Laochdha.
Guy, you also may stand. You are constantly there. If Karen's always talking about how you do everything for her and that she wouldn't be able to do anything without you. And I can't imagine where we would be without you constantly just picking up the slack when I realize something has gone cockeyed. And for that...
the parking that suddenly needs attendance. Making sure everything gets moved right.
Oh, we forgot half the
everything.
supplies for our tea hutch. Like cups, whoops. And you run out to the store, you never make a fuss. You refuse to take any money from me, which drives me crazy. But I can do this and you have to take it. So today we would like to award you with an excellence.
There are times when a Baron and Baroness give recognition only to discover more information afterwards. In addition to stellar service last Highland River Melees, it has come to our attention that Guy Laochdha continues to assist not only his barony, but his lady as well. We are so inspired by him that we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, hereby give him our Award of Excellence, done this 8th day of May, Anna Societas 56, at our virtual Highland River Melees. May we recognize them with Vivat, please? Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And as always, the scrolls will always be presented.
We will have a short delay. And if you hear chicken noises, they're real. It's okay. No worries. Some some of our individuals obviously could not be here today due to the size of the attendance, so they get to find out when you guys find out. If you would.
Their Excellencies would like to call forward Adele Lachlan.
Feel free to read it. Today we are giving Adele a lark, which is our word for arts and sciences. Adele made me one of the most beautiful dresses I've ever gotten. And she did it so amazingly, so efficiently, and she is constantly there with a little help and a little nugget of information and wisdom, and she's so silent. She's going to step up soon to become our exchequer, and she's just one of my rocks, and I have to give her a lark, because she actually made me wear a German dress with pink in it. So, if you would, Roisin.
Clothing may be a necessity, but is a time-honored art in its own right as well. To clothe another person is admirable on its own, but to garb someone in raiment tailored, well-made, and breathtaking is truly a feat most admirable, honorable, and generous. Adele Lachlan, a seamstress of incredible skill, took on such a task. The result was a dress for the Baroness that dazzled all who beheld her at the last in-person 12th night. In appreciation and recognition, we, Ludwig Ensign, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, hereby induct her into our Order of the Lark, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River Melees. Illumination by Ceasa de Spina. Vivat for Adele Lachlan. Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Scandal, you come before us for a moment.
Hold.
Their Excellencies would like to call forward Scandal Rofir.
Good day, Scandal. You should be shocked and appalled to find that we deem it fit to recognize you with a heart today for all of your service. Your feast, which, made me give my first impromptu award on our investiture, is one of those reasons. The fact that you've redesigned our website and it is a thing of beauty now, and all the other herald work and volunteer time you do with all the tiny behind the scenes. This beautiful hiding our shame box. You don't know what's in there. We gotta. You gotta.
You got it.
And for that, you also get a bling thing. Roisin, if you would.
Keenly have we watched Scandal Rofir as he goes about, setting up web pages, bringing feasts to our table, and working hard to finish what must be done. Thus do we, Ludwig Ensign, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, induct him into our Order of the Heart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River Melees. Illumination by Ceasa de Spina. Calligraphy by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Scandal Rofir. Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Their Excellencies would see before them Roisin Compton.
Fool you. It's very hard to fool your herald and your staff. So, at least we got one. And for you, we have decided to recognize you with a heart today. For all of your hard work, becoming our herald, which I know is definitely new for you, and you're doing a wonderful job. And your podcast work, I absolutely adore it. Thank you so much for contributing. You've been wonderful. I appreciate you as an officer. And for that, you get a lovely little heart.
Rarely will a barony have any shortage of work that must be done. Indeed, those who volunteer their energy and time are appreciated greatly for their efforts. Today, we are inspired to recognize Roisin Cuivenach for her help with our podcast. Thus do we, Ludwig and Sin, the Baronage of Highland Fourde, induct her into our Order of the Hart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Calligraphy and illumination by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Roisin! Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
Their Excellencies would like to call forward Ari Leborn.
You know why you're here. For those of you who don't know, and actually some of you may, Ori went to one whole event before the pandemic shut us down. But that didn't stop her enthusiasm or hard work or absolute organizations of all of us crazy cats. Because
She
she gave us
charge for all of our online activities.
She gave us an actual podcast for our newsletter, which happens intermittently, so if you're looking for it, don't be scared. What else? We have a YouTube account now, and an Instagram account, and
Plans
apparently
for other ones.
a TikTok, and a Twitter. Like, dragging the SCA from the 15th century into the 21st has been one heck of a feat, but Ori has managed to do it and teach classes on it. Her next event will be Crown as she streams it, and it will be her second event. So without further ado, we had to give her a heart for all of her hard work.
As the heart bounds forth in courage, strength, and grace, so too does Ari Leborn as she serves the barony of Highland Fourde. She does not shy away from the challenge of service, but rather embraces it. She happily handles our monthly Baronial newsletter and has gone above and beyond, increasing both engagement and accessibility by producing a new podcast for our barony. In light of such impressive accomplishments, we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Fourde, induct her into our Order of the Hart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Vivat for Ari Leborn.
Vivat!
Vivat!
Vivat! You in your hand-sewn gown.
Calligraphy and illumination by Harper An Cu. Excellencies, call forward Marion Compton.
Marion could not be with us today, but Marion, we have got to thank you. When this whole pandemic fell, you were immediately there, despite not even being from Highland Fourde, to be there with a Zoom channel for our ANS nights, and I can't tell you how you assisted us and my MOAS with your absolute steadfast reliability. It was something I didn't have to worry about, and it just really touched me. And I've gotten permission from your Baron and Baroness of Ponte Alto to give you our Award of a Heart, which is our service award. Roisin, if you would.
It is all too often forgotten that the support and facilitation of the arts and sciences is an essential and important service. It becomes paramount during the onset of a global plague, as gentles seek to stay connected and creating in spite of distances maintained for safety. Instrumental in our barony's efforts to manage matters both creative and connective was Marion Compton, who generously hosted many a virtual arts and sciences gathering for our members and neighbors. Thus do we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Fourde, make her a member of our Order of the Hart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Vivat for Marion Compton. Vivat! 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 Their Excellencies would like to call forward Chorve of Highland Fourde.
Chorve could not be with us today, but we do have to recognize her for being our exchequer, which she no longer is because she's gone to do kingdom work now, but we still think that that's pretty important for our barony, along with the fact that she has done some site evaluation for us and had her fingers in all sorts of pies. For this, we give her a heart.
What would we do if not for those order setters among us? Where would we be without the sight scrutinizer, the coin keeper, the number herder? We shudder to imagine. Chaos would claim us, disorder would devour us, risk ruled are we without those services. For this reason, we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, induct Chorve of Highland Foorde into our Order of the Hart. Done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Illumination by Tessa de Spina, calligraphy by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Chorve of Highland Foorde! Vivat! 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 Their Excellencies would like to call forward Helia, Sophoniba.
Once again, she's not here to receive her award, but Helia has been one of our jacks of all trades. She is constantly there when we need ANS stuff. I mentioned I needed more largesse, and she once showed up to my house with a basket of largesse.
Very, very good, the largesse.
Beautiful bookmarks. Whenever there's something that needs a prize, she's got something to, historically accurate even, to give for a prize, to give as largesse, to give out as little trinkets of adoration. And many of you may have gotten some rings from her. Baroness Isabella has also kindly donated to our largesse, but we have got a lot of rings, and I wouldn't have been able to give them out without our Helia Sophoniba.
A barony values the enthusiasm of its members. None can question the love of Helia Sophoniba has for arts and sciences. In spite of difficulty, she promotes the arts and sciences in her barony, teaches classes, all in eager service and for her enthusiasm. We, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, induct her into our Order of the Hart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Illumination by Tessa de Spina, calligraphy by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Helia Sophoniba! Vivat! 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 Their Excellencies would like to call forward Tessa de Spina.
Tessa could not be with us today. However, you may have heard her name a time or two during these scrolls. She has contributed amazingly to our scriptorium in so many ways, hosting nights when we couldn't, giving to the kingdom largesse for us of beautiful blanks and specified to the kings and queens of that reign, and obviously to us. Multiple scrolls, and they're all exquisite, and for that, we need to give her our lark.
It is the happy duty of the Baron and Baroness to recognize those members of their populace who excel in the arts and sciences. We would be gravely neglecting our obligations if we did not bring to light the immense talent of Tessa de Spina. Her many beautiful works of illumination embellish our courts and emblemize the good qualities of many recipients. Thus do we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, induct her into our Order of the Lark, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Illumination by Ray Surratt, calligraphy by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Tessa de Spina. Vivat! 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 Excellencies would like to call forward Harper An Cu.
Harper again could not be with us today. She did burn the midnight oil, getting us all of our scrolls last night, and which we greatly appreciate. Harper now leads our scriptorium and is our MOAS. And while you think we might be giving her an ANS award, well, she's got that one already. But what people don't realize is that doing bulk amounts of scroll is a service as well. It is often overlooked, and today we want to make sure we don't overlook it. So we are happily inducting her into our Order of the Heart.
Harper An Cu is willing to take on any task her barony asks of her in earnest and prolifery. When she was bestowed the responsibility of Minister of Arts and Sciences, she accepted and has since served with steadfast devotion. The position of Arts and Sciences is one fitting of her cleverness, her multiple creative talents, and her practiced crafts. Thus do we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, do induct her into the Order of the Heart, done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56. Illumination and calligraphy done by Daniela Poga. Vivat for Harper An Cu. Vivat! 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 Their Excellencies would like to call forward Linnea.
Linnea has been constantly at our side. She's clothed us. She has been there for guidance, for name remembering, which no one tells you what a big part of the job that is, and constant assistance and guidance. I have a nickname for her, but you're going to hear it in a moment.
This proud raven flies full free through the sky, clear or cloudy. Stretch strong, yet welcoming wing. Sings songs to lure listening. This bold bird saw, landing here, option of evil vizier. Her sincere search to connect found for her a perch perfect. This kind corvid, whose bright call we know and love. Linnea, with her, we are quite content. She is ever excellent. Now will we, Ludwig and Sin, baronage for folk within Highland Foorde, foist such on her, our award of much measure. Done this 8th day of May, Anno Societatis 56, at our virtual Highland River melees. Wording, calligraphy, and illumination by Harper An Cu. Vivat for Linnea. Vivat! 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 Their Excellencies would like to call forward Subetai and Alana Urquhart.
Lady on the left, no lady at all, or something? Hi. For those of you who do not know, this tent and many of this finery and this house all belong to these two. They have routinely let us borrow all of their possessions almost every event we have gone to in the pre-plague times. And even now here we are, during the plague, once again invading all of their territory. And for that we award them both an excellence. However, someone doesn't have a scroll because I didn't realize we were going to be doing this here, and you didn't want a non-in-person award. So, scroll forthcoming, my laurel scribe friend.
Honorable and generous do we, Ludwig and Sin, find Alana, Urquhart, and Subetai. Whenever Highland Foorde has need, they answer its call, be it tent and gear, feast and festivity, or counsel and comfort. They step up without hesitation. It is in celebration and recognition of such wonderful qualities that we, Ludwig and Sin, Baron and Baroness of Highland Foorde, hereby give them our Baronial Award of Excellence, done this day of May, Anna Societis 56, at our virtual Highland River Melees. Illumination by Tessa de Spina. Vivat for both of them, Alana Urquhart and Subetai. Vivat! 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 And thus ends the court of their excellencies of Highland Foorde, Baroness Sin and Baron Ludwig. Vivat!